The ongoing showdown between the government and American universities over campus anti-Semitism and free speech continued today with a fiery hearing on Capitol Hill. Republican lawmakers with the House Committee on Education and the Workforce spent 3 hours grilling the leaders of Georgetown University, the City University of New York, and the University of California at Berkeley. At issue, why the schools appear to take a much more permissive attitude toward anti-Semitism than they would toward racism against black students or homophobia against gay students. Why so-called time, place, and manner restrictions on protests and demonstrations have been sporadically enforced at best when it comes to pro-Palestinian demonstrations that cross the line, in some cases creating unsafe environments for Jewish students. Congressman Elise Stefanik took aim at the head of City University, demanding what action had been taken after one particular hate crime at that school.
With the New York City Police Department.
So no disciplinary action has been taken by CUNY? Is that correct?
We will investigate any action.
So an investigation, but no actual action. You have failed the people of New York. You have failed Jewish students in New York State, and it is a disgrace.
The hearing was interrupted several times by protesters in the gallery. In one case, right as Florida Congressman Randy Fine was speaking, and he was having none of it.
Emmanuel Ness, the chair of your political science department, said he supports, quote, resistance by any means necessary, which includes violence. How can you say those statements that you support your Jewish students? Shut up and get out of here.
Gentlemen will suspend. Gentlemen will suspend.
Get out of here, you loser.
For more, we're joined by Michigan Republican Congressman Tim Walberg, who's chair of the committee that held today's hearing. Congressman, great to have you with us today. Tell me how you picked the 3 schools that you had at this hearing today.
Well, Elizabeth, it's good to be with you. And the pick of the schools were across spectrum. We wanted to make sure that we've touched not only Harvard or Columbia, Rutgers, other Ivy League schools, Penn, but we want to look at other schools as well that have had significant problems on their campuses, schools that appeal to different people. CUNY, City University of New York, really has a more moderate income student load that is there. Berkeley, of course, is known for demonstrations of all kinds over the years that go on at college campuses. Georgetown is right here in the heart of D.C., a religious university as well. So we wanted to get a cross spectrum because, bottom line, Elizabeth, we want schools all across the nation to know we're not going to accept this, and this isn't going to go away as long as anti-Semitism continues to erupt on campuses and destroy opportunities for Jewish students. And anti-Semitism seems to reign.
The chancellors of all 3 universities denied accusations of anti-Semitism. The chancellor of Berkeley pointed out that not all pro-Palestinian beliefs are necessarily anti-Semitic, the same way that not all critics of Israel are anti-Semitic. In fact, many Israelis are, in fact, critical of the Israeli government, and many Israelis believe Palestinians have a right to have a state of their own. Do you agree that in some cases there is nuance here?
Well, there is nuance, but all 3 of the university chancellors, presidents, indicated, yes, there was anti-Semitism on their campus. Our concern was that they've done very little to stop it until we called on them to have them in front of a hearing. Then we found responses including suspension of some faculty, suspension of a student, and things like that, but not until the push came. It was not Jewish students or Jewish individuals disrupting our hearing today. It's very clear this is unique to Jewish students who are followed home, who are threatened, who are quoted texts by their oppressors, and I think that word is useful in what they're attempting to do on campuses to destroy the opportunities for Jewish students and, in fact, run them off the campus.
What should these schools, not just these 3 schools, but colleges across the country, be doing with these pro-Palestinian, and I don't want to say because they're not all they're not monolithic, but these protesters who are, in fact, anti-Semitic and who are, in fact, in some ways harassing and scaring Jewish students there?
Elizabeth is absolutely right there. Not all pro-Palestinians are anti-Semitic necessarily. But sadly, what we're seeing is the pro-Palestinians that are anti-Semitic are ruling campuses. We know campuses all over the United States that don't allow anything like this to happen, have stepped out early and said, we will not allow anything that goes beyond free speech that takes away the rights and the opportunities of students on our campus. You will be suspended or removed from school, and a faculty member, you will be suspended as well. We are not going to accept this where it gets into the lives, the opportunities of students simply because they're Jewish, or in some cases, peers of the Jewish students who are afraid to stand up and defend their Jewish peers who they enjoy being friends with because of a fear that a teacher, a professor will dox them. That's not a learning environment that ought to be on our college campuses, and it spreads into anti-Americanism as well.
And very quickly, you know, we've had several of these Jewish students at several universities on this show to talk about their experience. We've seen in so many cases these pro-Palestinian, anti-Semitic protesters masked, their faces completely covered. Why not insist that these schools say you are not allowed to protest for anything? You know, you can't even protest high prices at the cafeteria with a mask on. In other words, if you want to exercise your free speech, show your face.
I agree totally with that, and I appreciate our president, this administration, calling out that opportunity to say, you will not have masks on campus. Now, that again goes down to individual campuses. And there's where we have the power of the purse.
To enforce
because
it.
the federal dollars going to schools, especially schools, to enforce it, absolutely. And I think that's what it's going to take when it hits their bottom line and they realize we're serious about this. We're not opposing First Amendment liberties. We're not opposing a normal campus situation where there's diversity and there's debate. But we are opposing it when it gets into violence and it gets in a situation where students, Jewish students specifically, do not feel safe on campus or able to enjoy the education they ought to have.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.